In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Hello and warm welcome to all of you dear viewers of Marjaeyat TV. Stay with us with our episode of program Marjaeyat Horizon. Stay tuned, watching news, reports and meetings, all regarding Grand Jurist Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Husseini Shirazi. In separate messages to the governments of Iraq and Lebanon, the World Conference of Parliament Speakers in New York, Imam Shirazi World Foundation warned of the problems of these governments and the world. The ISWF addressed some issues in its letters, such as the administrative corruptions, discrimination, and creation of a national campaign against terrorism.
Imam Shirazi World Foundation is a non-profit and non-political organization which sponsors a big variety of cultural, religious, and human rights activities and different institutions working in related fields in Western countries. Imam Shirazi World Foundation envisions a world devoid of violence, extremism, and corruption, and in this regard, it always concerns such acts in different parts of the world, especially the Muslim countries. Lately, Imam Shirazi World Foundation has sent out separate messages to the Iraqi and Lebanese governments and the World Conference of Speakers of Parliament, which is held in New York. In these messages, this organization has warned of the escalating dimensions of administrative corruption in Iraq, demanded the Lebanese authorities to establish concerted efforts in order to tackle the deteriorating conditions of the state, and requested the World Conference of Speakers of Parliament to activate peace treaties, international resolutions related to war on terrorism, and the International Criminal Court. In its message to the Iraqi government, Imam Shirazi World Foundation called change and reformation of the current situation as an important duty of the Iraqi administration, which should not be overlooked. Here comes part of this message. Imam Shirazi World Foundation emphasizes that the Iraqi government must seriously take into effect the suggested reforms, and at the other hand, must provide safe and secure environment for the protesters. The foundation adds that the legitimate Iraqi demands must be fulfilled swiftly and quickly without any delays. Imam Shirazi World Foundation also calls all governmental parties to pay attention to the people's demand and to move quickly in fulfilling them. A strategy plan must be put into place so that the corruption would be eliminated once and for all or reduced to its minimum. The Grand Jurist Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi has highlighted that the governmental corruption and mismanaging the people's money will lead to more poverty, diseases, illiteracy, unemployment, and poor services for all people. This non-profit and non-political organization also referred to the deteriorating conditions of the Lebanese people and demanded this country's government and all other players in the country's affairs to respect the dignity of their citizens, do reformations in their domestic policies, and work to improve the worsening conditions of this nation. In another letter to the World Conference of Speakers of Parliament, Imam Shirazi World Foundation expressed his great hopes and regards for this big conference, which can have an effective role in uniting the forces against terrorism and violence. Imam Shirazi World Foundation, in its letter to the World Conference of Speakers of Parliament, referred to the scourge of violence and extremism, poverty and discrimination, dictatorship and suppression, and then called this conference to have a critical mission at this very specific juncture of the humanity age. Here comes a part of this letter. We hope that the nations would hear this World Conference to adapt a new attitude which offers practical help to stop the surge of violence and projects to relieve the suffering and limits the suppressive acts of dictators, as dictatorship conceals all development and progress opportunities to the general public. This conference can open up new grounds in the world of politics which are occupied by the dictators at the moment. This austere and constrained political atmosphere has contributed to the spread of terrorism. We wish success for all the peoples of the world and for sustainable security, peace and prosperity.